Hello and welcome back to Farming Simulator 17 with Razar. That is me. We are playing Farming Simulator 17 where farming is just like real life, only different. Yeah. Okay, so today we are going to do a few quick things. One of the things that we're going to do is a little bit of mowing here in our yard. Once we get that done, we will be heading to a field owned by one of the NPCs where we will then enjoy getting to work in their fields for some money. And I fixed the problem, well, I didn't really fix the problem that I had last time with the camera. Somehow it fixed itself. I hopped back into the game and the camera was working perfectly fine the way it should have worked to begin with. Well, the way it was originally working until it just goofed up on me. So there's that. Let's see if I can get my... My camera mod is not working. There we go. Oh, that was not good. There we go. Okay. Now we have all of our fields sown with grass. And because of that, we can now come up here with the mowing decks and the windrower and get to work. So we will make sure that this is excuse me, this needs to be the windrower, needs to be unfolded, lowered, and we will turn it on. Now we'll switch to our mowing decks and turn all three of them on. And make sure that they're all lowered as well. Set the cruise on everything. And this is what we're going to do for a while. We've got a huge field to mow, so it shouldn't take too long. Now, if you look down in the very bottom right hand corner, under where it shows your speed, which is 11 miles per hour, I'm in the US, so I use miles per hour. If you look down there, you will notice the tractor under the mileage, and it has the green images behind it and in front of it. When they're green, it shows that they're turned on. The reason I'm pointing this out is because we have the windrower highlighted. It is a bright green. I'm going to cycle. That's my tractor. I'm using the Y button on the Xbox 360 controller to cycle it. Now that is the mowing deck that's closer to the tractor, which is the two mowing decks, one on the left and one on the right. That's one unit. Hit it again. That is the one that sits out there by itself on the end. The reason I'm pointing this out is because we're going to cut the windrower off for now and the mowing decks so that we can get into position, because you don't really want them running constantly while you're trying to reposition your equipment. Oh, trailer assist is off. It is left control and T. There we go. I'm working here in the dark, so give me a few moments to see everything I need to. Okay. Now we come up here We'll cut the mowing decks on first, then the windrower. That's just the order I prefer to do them in. Sorry, don't mean to cough in your ear. I try to turn my head if I can, but I now have my microphone closer, so it makes it hard for me to avoid doing that. Now, since this is one field, as you can see, it's taken a big chunk out of it. I'm not doing the full 3 decks on it, which I should, but I just didn't get it started on this one. I don't want to make a bunch of turns in and out. Now I'm just going to cut the windrower off, and that'll let me swing out wide here. Get lined up, cut the windrower back on, and we're good to go. Now the reason I cut the windrower off is in case I have to go over where I've already mowed, the windrower is just going to sweep all that stuff to one direction or the other. I don't want that happening. So it's giving us some nice little piles to be able to go through with the baler to pick it up. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the front mowing deck and I'm going to cut it off. Move forward to the back ones for about where it was and then turn them off. Switch to the windrower, cut it off, and that gives me a good even stream. Now the reason I didn't go any further is because if you look over there near that tree, there's a small hill there. You can't really mow and take care of the grass and everything. That was my phone, that sound. But you can't really mow and windrow over that too well because it has a tendency to lift your mowing deck up in the air, which keeps you from cutting the grass. Okay. And this should take care of that little patch out there on this side of the drive. Now, there is a modded device that you can get which will let you roll. It's like a roller that you roll over the fields like out here where there's no grass or anything, and it will let you change it into grass just by rolling it over it. I don't have that, but it is something I am planning on getting very soon. I just didn't grab it yet. Now I don't want to mow this yet. I want to make sure that I can do even cuts and all the way across. So I'm going to come out here. Start back here. Now another reason I cut everything off is it also helps you move a whole lot faster when you do. When you don't have the equipment running, there's a lot less of a drain on your horsepower from your tractor, pulling from your tractor, so it just makes things a lot easier. Sorry about that noise, that was an alarm I have. Apologize for a lot of unnecessary noise this time. Try to keep all that cut down as much as I can, but sometimes I have to have alarms set for specific things. Now, I do want to let all of my viewers know that I'm planning in the future to do a RP series or a role-playing series with this. What that's going to entail is me basically just doing a little bit of role-playing as I'm playing the game. I will be telling a story as it goes along. Yeah, there's not any grass left here. I forgot this was a section I already mowed. Yeah, it's getting a little bit of it through here. Some of it's grown back. Now to keep this single line here straight all the way across, I'm going to go ahead and let it cover over, like overlap what I've already windrowed. It's just going to make this a little bit thicker through here, but it's no big deal. Excuse me, it's no big deal. All it means just whenever I come back through here with the baler, it's going to move a little bit quicker. It's going to fill up a little bit quicker as I move along. But we will be okay. But if you are interested in the roleplay, feel free to check back. I am hoping to have that up within a week. The first episode of it is going to run tandem with this one. I'm going to do this one episode of this, just my regular playthrough, and then I'm going to alternate that with an episode of the roleplay for my next upload. Yeah, this doesn't really give me much of anything through here. So we will cut across here. It looks like it gets a bit higher back over here. So we'll just go ahead and come here. Start back. There we go, that's a lot nicer. You really do want those thick patches of grass going through there, because if you don't have a whole lot of grass, it just means your baler's not picking up much, which means it's going to take longer to fill it up. And that means it takes you longer to get full bales. Now, as far as the map that I will be doing the roleplay on, I'm not sure yet which map I'm going to be using. It may be this map, or it may be one of them that I've downloaded. I have been playing on the Sandy Bay map with a friend of mine. I love that map. It is a gorgeous map. Look at that, what I'm doing. Okay. But as I was saying, it is a gorgeous map, very beautiful. So that might be the map that I start using. Again, sorry for the coffee. Swing this baby around here. Start about right here. Should only need the forward one. Go ahead and run the windrower. Actually, I'm going to do this a little different. Since this was just a small amount over here on the right, I'm going to go ahead and run these together. Now there is another windrower larger than this. This one pulls 3 rows together. The other windrower is much, much bigger. It will actually take and pull 5 of them together because it has 2 more of the spinning pieces that combine everything together. It's got 2 up at the front that stick out kind of wide and 2 more near the back. It's a really nice setup, but it's a bit overkill for just one person. Now we'll wait until we get the windrower out of this area and start it up. And here we go. Get that nice trail of grass behind us. We'll start making our turn. You turn too sharp, the windrower won't pick it up. There we go. That beats having to come back over it again later. Now I was really planning on getting these trees here out of the way, but that's something that I can do later. I don't have to do that because I've got the ones out of the center patch there, which is the biggest concern. And now we start on this section. Excuse me. Now, the grass that you pick up here, again, we're going to bale it, then wrap it so that we can get some money, a good bit of money for it. But you can also take it as it's cut like this. You can take trailers that will pick it up, and you can take it to places like you could take it to like the biogas plant. Now the purpose of the biogas plant is that it turns it into biogas to burn for power, but at the same time it gives you silage that you can turn around and sell. And you're selling that silage to the biogas plant. That's something that I will be covering in another video later in the future, because we're going to need a bit different equipment, a bit more expensive equipment to be able to do that. Oops, see, I wasn't paying attention, messed up that patch back there, but it's no big deal. Excuse me. We'll still be able to get it with the baler. I'm gonna do this a little different to save some time. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a turn out here at the end. Now the speed I'm going up this hill is about 8 to 9 versus 11, which is the working speed of the windrower and mower combination. Now the thing about it, your working speed is the speed at which the equipment actually works at. That speed can actually vary depending on what your equipment is and things like that. But you want to pay attention, because if this speed, if you're going lower than that speed for some reason, it means that either your tractor does not have the horsepower, or it could be the terrain may be causing it. Now this one's got plenty of horsepower to run the 3 units we have here, the windrower and the 2 mowing decks on the front. But what's causing the problem with this is when it starts going up the hill, this mowing deck, with being 3 on the front, it actually gets a bit longer than what the terrain is actually designed or allowing for, and so it kind of bottoms out, as you can see there. So that front one is bottoming out, and that causes the problem. A little bit out of alignment, but no big deal. But there's no problem with this. It still works perfectly fine. It just means that you have to keep in mind that sometimes that's going to slow you down. No worries though. And when you harvest your fields, you can actually make loops like I'm doing here. Instead of going all the way to one end, turn around and come all the way back. You can actually harvest fields, plow fields, seed them, cultivate them. You can do all of it like I'm doing here in the fields. You don't have to go all the way out to one end, stop, turn around, come back. And in this situation, if you miss a little patch like you see there that I did, it bugs me, but I can live with it because I'm wanting to hurry up and finish this, pick it up, bale it, wrap it, sell it, so we can get plenty of money, and then go on to working in another field. I'll work in another field while my grass starts growing back up. Not sure if you can hear the chicken in the other room, but it's not a real chicken. That's my brother's alarm clock. Mine's going to be going off again in about 5 minutes. I set my alarm for when my brother's supposed to wake up so that I can help make sure he gets up and doesn't run late for work. He doesn't usually get in bed until real late. He doesn't get much sleep, so I try to be there, kind of help covering, back him up, so to speak. Now, after you do this, one of the things that you can do, because of how long it takes a baler to work, is you can come back through and try to run all of these rows in together into one row with the windrower, which, as far as how much time it actually saves, it varies depending on how good you are at doing it. I'm fairly good at it, so I can usually save a little bit of time doing that because of how much faster I can go with this. And you consider every time that you stop with the baler, then each stop that you make to unload it, you have to start back. Well, it still makes the same amount of bales, but the thing is, you only have one row that you just run up. And you stop, unload it, stop, unload, stop, unload. It can save you some time if you do it right. But again, that's only if you know what you're doing, which I will show you on this field here what I mean. In fact, to go ahead and get ready to show that, I am going to drop the baler there, or the rower there, and just hurry up and finish mowing this. And when I get finished bringing it all together, we will have one row right through the center here. You just cut across at an angle here to grab these, since we're going to bring them all into one. Alright, so we'll come over here. We will pop this down right here. And then we'll pick up the windrower. You drop that just to get it out of the way, make it easier, because I'm going to have to do some tight turns and it might be near objects and stuff. Alright, so you come out like this. Turn the windrower on. Make sure that it grabs the outermost row. Forgot I got the trailer assist on, it won't let me jackknife it on purpose. Okay, so you cut it back on, and you just bring it back in. Now if you got the larger windrower, this is actually a whole lot faster. But you just sit here and you just bring it in closer to the center. make a turn down here at the end. You see, you can bring it all into one. It really takes a bit more time with this one than it does with the larger one. With the larger one, you can move all of this towards the center in like half the time. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Because I've got the other field that needs to be mowed. I can still do it and then come back through, but I do have the other field. But that's basically what you do, is you just keep bringing these rows closer and closer to the center. And you can do it while you're mowing. You just basically, if you use just the center mowing deck, you can do it. You can also do it when you're using just the 2 mowing decks without the one in the center, but you just have to straddle that gap whenever you do it. There are some advantages and disadvantages to doing that. As far as whether or not it is worth it for you, that would depend on the individual. But it's one of those things that's not really a necessity to do. It's just personal preference as to whether or not you prefer to do it. I'm going to make this turn here. Kind of made that turn a bit wide, that way I can make sure that my windrower would grab it. Now, what I was talking about a little while ago about leaving the one in the center off the mowing deck, if you leave the one in the center off, then what happens is when you make a pass where the row, like where the windrower is piling this up, the grass underneath it will be uncut. So then what you do is you come back through with the windrower still behind you, but the left mowing deck rides over that trail that the windrower is making, and the other mowing deck mows a section out to the side. Now, I have used that method when I didn't have enough money to get both the small mowing deck that's in the center at the front and the larger one that's got the 2 decks on it. I've used that method for that, and it works great for it. I actually prefer the 2 mowing deck method if I have to choose. Again, we're just going to, that's dealing with what your preference is. I have a tendency to lean more towards efficiency over looks or something like that.